Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Big Dang Nurse Reviews. I'm sorry I haven't been here the past few weeks. There was Mother's Day, of course, and I was busy trying to complete the game that I'm going to be reviewing this week. Now you guys probably remember the game that I reviewed last week. But just in case, it was this, Destroy All Humans 2. And you guys probably remember this, but last week I mentioned that I had a second game as well. So I completed it. That's why I wasn't here the week before Mother's Day, because I was just playing the game, trying to finish it. I was about 3/4 of the way done, a little bit farther, but just about there. And so the game is Destroy All Humans 2. And one thing that I forgot to mention in the first game is that the Furons have telepathic abilities, so they're able to pick up objects just by their mental abilities. They're able to hypnotize people and extract their brain stems, which they did keep in the second one, but you don't really get money from the DNA like in the first game, which I'll mention a little bit later and go deeper into. But anyway, in the second game, for the telepathic abilities, you can also do something called transmog. Now, transmog is how you get your weapons, like the different, not the actual weapons, but the ammo for them. In the first game, you can just look at an object, shoot it with like the Stingray ray, it just explodes. You get the weapons. You guys know that stuff, right? And just go in and walk up to it. Now, and this is the same for the saucer, which goes with another, with a couple other things, which I'll mention later. You do something called transmog, where you lock onto an object, and then you walk into it if you're in third person mode, like actually on the ground and stuff like that. You just walk into the ammo just like in the first game or in any others, or in most others, I should say. But anyway, one thing that I do like about the game, for the second one, is that they have some more weapons, including they have something called the Gastro gun, and they do have all the same weapons for the ground mode. You can kind of call it that, but for the ground mode, you have the same array of weapons that you did in the first one, as well as a few new ones. There's the disc locator, which is just a few purple discs that you shoot out. You can upgrade up to 4 as one of the very first weapons that you receive in the game. The first weapon that you do get is a Zap-O-Matic, just like in the first game. And in the I can't talk. And there's also another weapon called Gastro gun. Gastro was a Furon janitor or something like that. I don't know. That when the mothership was destroyed. Sorry, that was a big spoil. Not really. But the mothership is destroyed in the first scene of the game, so not really much as of a spoiler. But anyway, he already downloaded a copy himself, just like Ortopox did when the mothership was destroyed, but Gastro, he has a little gun that you can launch out. It's this little disc. He pops up, and then he just follows you around shooting at enemies. And also at the end, he explodes, and then it's just like another ion detonator when he explodes, which you do keep in this game, fortunately. which I definitely liked. But anyway, in the game, there's also a which is my favorite, meteor strike, which just you can upgrade up to 3 meteors. They come down all at once and just destroy buildings. It's a used in ground level, like I already mentioned. You don't use it in the saucer, which is pretty cool. In the first game, you didn't have any weapon like that. So you still have the saucer in the game. You have the same weapons as before. You including the abducto beam. I think that's what they called it. I forget. I haven't played the game in a few days. I don't even look at the name of the weapons as much as I used to. I just say vaporizes, zaps, and vaporizes. That's all I really think now. But in this game, you can actually abduct people, like bring them into your saucer. In the first game, you weren't able to do that. And like how I mentioned earlier, you can do something called transmog, which goes into something called drain, which is you target a vehicle, whether it's a tank or a car or whatever, then you transmog it, or no, not transmog, but you click on the buttons and then you get health from that. And also you have a cloak, which they did not have in the first game, which I really like. It's almost like Predator. But anyway, you also have just the same weapons as the first game, like I already mentioned, and you also have the anti-gravity field, which is like a little black hole that's on the ground, and it can just it just brings all the different vehicles and people that are around just about everything other than buildings or cell phone poles. So basically, as long as it's not on the ground or if it's your saucer, it just goes into like this tiny thing in like a street corner, condenses and explodes. It's funny as heck. So yeah, and those are the weapons. As far as telepathic abilities, it's not really a telepathic ability, but you can do something called body snatch. You look at a character, press the triangle button, and then you go into them. You can walk around in their body and stuff like that, and you can prank call, or you can call them all clear, or call them back up if you really want to. And yeah, you have to use the body snatch quite a few times in the game. So, so now that you know about the actual characters, this game takes place after 137 is killed, or not really killed, but he died after the first game. It's like 5 or 10 years after the first one, and you're 138. You're made with pure Furon DNA, so you have, to quote the first game, genitalia, to put in scientific terms. But yeah, which is actually not really that important to the game, but it kind of adds some more things to another character named Natalia, who is a KGB agent, and you have a crush on her and stuff like that. It's just funny, like this the kind of stuff that he says to her. So yeah, you work with Pox, who is still in that little disc thing that flies around, or doesn't really like hover around, but you go up and talk to her. She doesn't really move with you unless it's a cutscene. Excuse me. I'm being cold some. Excuse me. But and you talk to her like that. You can also do bonus levels, which you for some levels though, unfortunately, you can only do in 2-player, which I love that they put in 2-player. And the first game they did have that, it was just boring as heck. Not being able to play with people that I really wanted to show the game to at once. But now you can actually work together on the missions. And so it's pretty good. But in this game you help humans in a way. You're trying to help save the Earth. And then at the same time, there's like a romance between you and Natalia. There's this other KGB agent who has a crush on her, just like you do. And it's just a funny game, all in all. You also fight the Martians, which are called Blisks, which you had fought, or you didn't really fight earlier. But the backstory is that eons ago, before they came to Earth, which I mentioned in the first game, a little pamphlet, so you guys can read more. Sorry. But anyway, you fight the Martians, and it's really fun. But I mean, they're these huge brutes. It's just funny how they walk and stuff like that. So that's basically it. You one of the bonus levels, it's not really a bonus level, but you can get more upgrades and stuff like that. Is that you can start kind of a cult with the hippies, since it's in the hippie area. I mean, the back of the thing says "Make war, not love," and so "Make love, not war." But yeah, it's during the hippie age. You're trying to convert them to Ark Voodooism, the quote Lord of the Sacred Crotch. That's what they just call them. Like it's just made for laughs, basically, for most of the levels in the game, and just so it's just laughs throughout the entire game. They had just enough levels of laughs, as well as having a little bit serious at the same time, where it's funny and not too and it's not too strict. It's just a good, well blended balance. And like I said, how there's a bunch of hippies, and you go throughout the entire world, uh, uh, during all the levels. You can also go to the moon for the final level. And it's just funny with all the levels and stuff like that. You have to use body snatch a lot to go and talk to different people. And you have to do the conversations just like in the first game. You don't really have to convince people near as much as in the first. So that's basically the entire game, and it's just made for laughs. It's not as good as the first one, but it's a lot more funny. And it's a well done game. Surprisingly, I thought it wouldn't be that good. At first, my friend showed me that game after he had gotten the first game uh, years ago. So he's the reason why I'm able to show this to you, because he showed me this game. So yeah, I'd give this a 3, maybe 3.5 out of 5 stars. Like I said, it's really good. But it's not the best game in the world. And I'm into comedy stuff like that, and it's a really funny game. So yeah, that's just the gist of it. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this game. Next week, I'm probably going to be reviewing the Lego Star Wars 1 video game, but I don't know for certain what I am going to do, but that's a high possibility, so you never know. So I hope you all have a good week. Hopefully I'll be able to do this again on Friday next week. So just hang in with me. Alright? See y'all. Bye.